Hey guys, Deej and Dev here with Adams and Company.
Hi, you guys.
Thought this would be the perfect opportunity to share our story with you since we're in our home, sitting here in the kitchen.
We'll do a little walk down memory lane. So Adams and Company, for those of you who don't know, we are a decor brand, and we design and then distribute our home decor, little signs, seasonal stuff to stores, retailers all across the U.S. and Canada, and then a little bit sprinkled out throughout the rest.
And so this is why we say our story started with a 62-cent 2x4 because it did.
Because it did. Back in 2002.
We got back in 2002, September 2002, we got invited to do a local craft show at the Swiss Dates in Santa Clara. That was our hometown. And at that point, Devaney was doing medical transcription. I was doing life insurance. We had been married for 10 years and had two adorable little girls. And so we did this craft fair.
Yeah, it was so fun.
We spent about 2 weeks in the evenings sitting in the garage making this product. And then we did the Swiss Days, and it was so rewarding. Of course, we made no money. No profit. No profit.
We did sell things, but I don't think we made any money. Yeah, but it was so much fun.
It was so rewarding.
I was going to give a huge shout out to Lowe's, because when you talk about the 62-cent 2x4,
we didn't even have a saw, so they ended up cutting it up. We wanted little pieces, so they cut, I don't know how many cuts that is into one 2x4, but
we had this idea. We wanted to do these little blocks, these little wooden blocks, and then paint them and stencil on them. And so we asked them to do all of that for us, and they were amazing. And after so long, we finally were able to buy our own saw. But shout out to Lowe's, because with that, the beginning, you guys helped us start the whole business. It was awesome.
It launched us.
It sure did. And then after we did that show, we had so much fun and realized how good we worked together as a couple. And we both we realized like we have different strengths.
And we loved the creativity.
Yeah.
We seemed at that point to love everything about it.
And DJ had one final like contract or deal he was working on, and he came to me one night, pretty into not too long after the Swiss Days, and said, Deb, I think we can make something out of this, and I want to start wholesaling.
We're going to make this a brand.
Yeah.
We're going to wholesale this to stores. And
so he got us to work. And fun little tidbit, he did just do that last final deal, and then he never went back into life insurance again. So, Adams and Company, in a way, it's like it found us. It was so much. It was just awesome the way that all fell together. And he just, like, this kind of passion, this fire was lit.
You would make those samples for us, and I would drive we had a Honda Accord. She made the samples. I went, since we're in that small town, had to go about 300 miles to see most of the stores, and would knock on there, hope to see an owner, hope to see a buyer, show them what we had. We'd come back, make it, and we just kept that going for 2 years. We were fueled on
passion. It was just passion and desire, and
we worked about as close to 24 hours a day as you humanly could for about 2 years, and that meant no restaurants. That meant no movies. That meant no friends. We were 100% building this.
Date night was 100% in the garage.
I look back to that time, founding that when we were young, making our own way in life. So fun.
And, little side note that was so fun is one of my very best friends in the entire world. They, at that point, lived around the corner from us. And I remember putting some of the blocks that we'd made for each season, and I had put it in a little wagon and was walking around the corner and went to her house, asked if she wanted anything. And she was so supportive, and she bought the little witch block that she still had, witch blocks that she still has today. But little side note is that is Miss Robin Dunn, who is now our COO and has been working for us for the last 5 years. And so it's so fun to think she was our very first customer, and then all those years later, she became our COO.
She runs all the operations.
It's awesome.
It's amazing how that kind of flips around
so cool.
like that.
So then going back to DJ had the idea of taking this product, all these samples, and putting them in the trunk of our Honda Accord, and then going 300 miles to the stores. I kind of digressed there. So after a couple of years, we started to learn, like, what was so awesome is so many of the retailers, you guys took us under your wings because we had no idea what we were doing.
They're like, we learned how to be a wholesale company, a brand from our retailers. They're like, you need to be in a
You need to be in a trade show.
A trade show.
You
We're
need to be shipping your product. What are you doing driving 300 miles delivering it to us? So
we learned how to ship. We learned how to go attend trade shows. We now have permanent showrooms in the East Coast side, Atlanta, Georgia, and then we have a trade show in Las Vegas.
Yeah, we transitioned after that first 2 years. We were able to finally transition from wearing every single hat, doing every single thing, into having our product manufactured for us. And so we started to focus on sales, distribution, and design, and then we had our product manufactured. So that was awesome, to go through that transition. But there's different little tricks and challenges that come along with manufacturing too, because a lot of times you have to order a lot more than what you're able to sell. So there's this kind of little balancing act that you're doing.
Remember that very first container we got?
It was this big.
We got the smallest container for the very first order when you have someone else making your stuff. When we'd come home and make it, they say, oh, we want one sign. We'll whip it up. But when you have someone else making for you, say, we can't make one, but we can make hundreds for you. So we did, and got that little first container in.
It was so much fun. So these fun little milestones. So after a couple of years, and then finally being able to do that, and then having the trade shows in Atlanta and Las Vegas, and then after we'd probably done that for a few years, and then fast forwarding over to 2008, and you all know what that means when I say the housing bubble, and we were still green enough. I mean, we had done a few years, but we hadn't really gone through something like a housing bubble or a market crash or anything like that. And so that was our first experience. Yeah, that was our first experience with, okay, there really is an economy, and it does this and it does that. We were young, we were naive, and trying to figure a lot of that stuff out.
And we had a lot of reinventing Adam's company, a lot of reinventing business. Probably the biggest thing that we did was we ended up finding a partner to join with. And
So several years after, in about 2014, we kind of went through this transition period of 2008 when, overnight we had like 100 stores that just basically called and said, we're closing our doors. And you're not really prepared for that. We were not prepared for that, but we were able to kind of plug along for several years. But we hadn't realized what we needed to do, really. And we started to become very self-aware and realizing there's parts that we're very good at, and then there's parts that we just simply don't enjoy or we're not good at. And we ended up partnering, and thank you so much to our wonderful partner. We ended up partnering in 2014.
Who owns a 3PL, and so his company does all of our shipping for us.
Yeah, they do all of our shipping. They handle all of the accounting.
It allows us to be on the road. We're on the road like 150 days a year. We work from the home when we're not on the road. Being able to shed from finding a partner that can take such a huge burden off and allow you to do what you do best.
Being a startup business, we wore every single hat possible, like every single hat. We both wore them all. And then finally, after a little bit of time, you're able to start, one of the first things you want to start doing is hiring out who does the stuff that you're weak in. And find people who are way better at it. And that's, I think, what we've done, over the last several years. We've been able to do that. So since we started partnering in 2014, it was really nice because DJ and I were able to, at that point, step back and start focusing on what we were good at. And about 2016-ish, ish somewhere, we kind of realized that we were plugging along, things were moving along, but we sort of started to do this. You remember that?
Yeah, we weren't growing. We were getting the normal amount of growth, and we're like, no, we're ready to blow this thing through the roof. And we would trickle, and we're like, we need to rethink our marketing. For the entire time of Adam's company, we were marketing off of trade shows and
print advertising.
But the world was shifting. Facebook was out. Instagram had just started coming around. Matter of fact, it was actually the time that Instagram started getting popular that we started doing this research and trying to rethink our marketing, and realized that with Instagram being the new up and coming thing, that was our lifesaver. And so we switched our marketing, and we haven't looked back since.
And so what DJ said to me, I remember you had started doing some research on it, and he came to me and said, Devaney, what we need to do is you need to start a separate account that becomes a face of the company.
People, including us, want a face behind a brand. We don't want that big faceless
nameless
company anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's so fascinating to me. So one of the things we've been doing for the last couple of years is I write a column in one of our industry magazines, Gift and Deck, and it's about Insta-Tips, and it's all trying to give as much information as we can to the retail stores about, you know what, we need to embrace this digital marketing, this vlog style marketing.
And I'll tell you guys something. Part of our story is turning that camera around on yourself. That's a story in and of itself, because I would cry and cry and cry trying to get myself used to being in front of the camera, because it felt, some people are just natural at it and they're so good. I'm not one of those people. I'm a little camera shy.
Even before video was that, when we started Instagram, we didn't need to do video because it was just a photo sharing.
Stories hadn't started or any of that yet.
And so we were just in it for posts. And so one of the things we needed to do was to get a headshot of Devaney for her profile. We went out in front of our front door and had that as the backdrop. And a half hour of tears and hugs, we finally got a photo. And so that was a struggle, let alone the video. This is like
being
next
willing,
level.
Being totally willing. Like, I was fine to be behind the camera, but that whole turning it around and pushing through, I thought that like people were going to come out with their pitchforks and, not that at all. Not at all. You guys are amazing and so friendly and so supportive. And, that is what has made this so fun, and why we're wanting to share our story so much is because of the community that we've been able to build in just this short time, and how much more that we hope that it can grow, and that we can get to know that many more of you guys and connect in this beautiful way. So fast forward to today, we ship to a couple of thousand different independent retailers across the U.S. And we, for one, want to tell you guys how much we love you and that we're cheering for you. And, none of us know what's going to happen with all of this, but the one thing we know is we're all in it together. Every single one of us, the whole world is united. Even though this virus has been something that kind of is like so scary, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of hold everybody together. So, we're trying to look at the long-term silver lining right now. It's
the huge bright side for us is that we kind of discovered 2.5 years ago that there was a new way to market.
Yeah.
And that ended up reinventing the whole story for us, the whole company for us. And then we get to hear and we get slapped again. We're all in this together, from the brand to the retailers to the customers.
Most of our team actually does already work from home, so that transition hasn't been too difficult. But we also have a team in the Philippines, and we want to send you guys a lot of love. They are in full on quarantine over there. We're here to this point, but we thought it would be kind of fun to just share sort of our ups and our downs and the things that we've been through, and we've been through a few of these kind of disasters, I guess, is, we have been at that point when you are so low and you feel like you've lost everything. But, the thing that we learned from that is how strong it can make you too. But coming into what we're dealing with right now, which is so unprecedented, and it's so much bigger than my head is having almost a hard time wrapping around it. And I don't know if you guys are going through this, but I sure am. My daughter is, like, she keeps coming in. She's like, why do I keep crying? I'm like, I don't know. I can't stop crying. I feel every single emotion. So we don't really have an end to this story because we're just right here in the middle. We're not stopping. We're not giving up. We're going to keep going, and then we'll figure it out as we go. And we want to figure it out with you guys, our retailers who are partners of ours. We love you guys so much. We're in it together.
So with that being said, that's kind of our story. This last chapter, I suppose, brings us to really involving you from the retail stores, partners to consumers to joining us on digital marketing. Let's do this together. Let's create a community. When you make a post with our product in there,
tag Adams and Company.
tag
And Adams
us.
and Company will share you.
You can do a hashtag and Adams Retailer. We can find it that way. And we're more than happy and excited to share.
So here we are. This is the stage of our story. Plot twist. We'll be back and let you know what the next what the next thing brings. And we're in for a marathon.
We're in for it, and we want to do it. We want to do it as a community.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks for listening to our story. We love you guys.
You guys are our family. Love you.